morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like it's hot. Something's going on. Thanks for
Man,
joining us. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey, hey.
And we want to thank you guys for getting up early this morning on what is this, Monday?
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
Monday.
Monday,
Yeah.
July 28th, end of the month.
Fresh off the weekend.
Fresh off the weekend. Love to hear about what you guys did to stay cool this weekend
That part.
because it was a hot one. Most
Man,
definitely a hot one.
scorching.
Scorching. Kimmer Snipe says, "Good morning, y'all. Good morning, Kimmer. Appreciate you coming on this morning. Sorry I didn't make the event.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
family stuff. Family stuff. That's how it goes. But hopefully you had a good time. It looked like it was a good turnout, and hopefully it wasn't too hot like it's gonna be
Man.
today. I gotta put it out there today. I mean, to me, that's the news of the day. For me, it was so hot yesterday. I thought, how could it get any hotter? It's gonna be hotter. It's gonna be
So
hotter.
it's your fault. It's your fault.
It's my fault. 95 degrees. This is the early assessment. They said it might get up to 101 today. 100, and it'll feel like 108. And the one I
Mm.
saw said it feel like it'll be 110. So
Man. If you got a pool, time to take a dip.
good luck to us. Stay inside if you can. Julie Prince says marvelous Monday. I hope. I hope so too. Leah Keeser in the chat says happy marvelous Monday. You guys want some marvelous today. I like that on
Man,
the marvelous tip. That's what's up. Yep, I hope it will be too, as long as the air conditioner stays working.
that part.
So we got to mention early on, please check on loved ones because if anybody's air is out, then it could be detrimental because it's going to be a really, really, really hot and unbearably hot today. Heat advisory again in Nebraska, Omaha especially, supposed to get it hard. So be looking out. But yeah, good morning to you. Lots going on. Of course, we got a lot going on this week. Chad Chalmers kickback coming up on Sunday. So this is the last week before that. So and we're going to be talking a little bit about all these events happening. Of course, Native Omaha Day starts today too. So lots to talk about today. But before we get into that, just want to mention, please do us a favor, share the show if you're on Facebook. And if you're on YouTube, let people know. Send a link over to a friend, tell a friend, like and subscribe when you're over there. In the meantime, between time, good morning. How are you doing this morning, buddy?
Man, I'm feeling great. My back is a little stiff.
Hmm.
Slept on the ground. Been camping the last couple of days. Yeah. Realized this morning that my father and I picked the hottest days of my whole time here. The three hottest days of the time that I will be here. We just decided to, make it
Go
happen as
outside.
far as the camping. Yeah, be outside. Yesterday was sweating bullets, man. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But we made it through, invested in some water guns, so that felt good. But yeah, ended up sleeping in the tent. So a little stiff this morning. But I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Had a good family time over the weekend.
That's
We
good.
still be out there looking forward to taking a dip in the pool for the next couple days, trying to find some time for that. And yeah. Looking forward to today's conversation. Return of Senator Cypher. So yeah,
Yeah.
making some things happen today. Got the dynamic duo Senators Ashlei Spivey and Terrell Mckinney. Put some respect on their name coming through. So yeah, spending some time with all the first guy fam, if you will, as well. So
That's what's up, man.
yeah, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Like I said, just kind of worked. Just had some family stuff that went on this weekend as well. Some people in town. It is that time. Native Omaha Days is happening.
Yeah, man.
And we need to definitely jump in and talk about that before we get there. I definitely want to say what's up to everybody coming in. Sean McCarthy gives us a morning. Hope everyone stays cool the next few days. I'm telling you, that's going to be top of mind. The goal. Marlon Harrison says, "Happy Motivational Monday." He's ready,
Yeah, I like that one.
ready to be
Okay,
motivated.
motivational. Yeah,
Yep.
all that.
Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Appreciate that. Miss Erica Felt says, "Good morning." Popped in fast before children arrive.
Okay, look out for those forks.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the exact same thing. But she said, "Ready." She put all the cutlery away.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, get ready for the children's. Kimber Snipes says, "Shout out to Leo Lewis who came out to my party. It wasn't just about partying. It was also about organizing. That's what's up.
man,
That's
man.
what's up. Yeah,
Of course, Cameron, keeping it with the organizing.
yeah, yeah. Kimber gonna do the stage version of what we try to do here too. Is gotta do a little partying, but also gotta talk about some serious stuff from time to time and get some things together. So I love the organizing part of it. Again, sorry we couldn't make it. The family stuff came up, and there was just that day. But I know that you held it down, so that's what's up. I appreciate everybody who's putting these events together. We're kind of spinning out of control here, trying to get the Ted Chimers kickback together because there's a lot going on with that too. In conjunction with Untamed Summer, that's happening. I've been making some calls to people who, in the past, were like, "Hey, I got my special dishes here. We doing potluck style? Yes, get it together, get it together. We definitely want to have a variety of foods here, but I can't wait for pops to get on the grill and
Man,
taste everybody else's sides that's coming. I'm thinking about doing a old Allen family classic side myself.
man,
Yeah, and I'll be cooking it before I get to the event instead of
y'all want no beans? Y'all want no beans?
man, if y'all didn't make that Chat Chambers cookie, man, my buddy came with that all the raw ingredients of the thing he was supposed to make.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah, and I remember, also I've been, some people been, calling me too, like, definitely doing some dominoes this time around.
oh
Absolutely.
yeah, oh
Kimber
yeah.
Snipes is our reigning champ. She's going for a three-peat this year. So, yeah, we'll see what's happening. But yeah,
Mm.
Chad Chambers kickback coming up this Sunday. Also, we're in the middle of the content creators camp right now. We had our second class. It was real dope, super cool,
Man,
off the chain. Shout out to Miss Erica Feld. Shout out to Marla Harrison. And yeah, we're excited about some of the stuff that's coming out, man. Especially because the things that the campers are going to be writing now is pretty top of mind. It's pretty relevant
yeah,
information
yeah,
happening right now going on. So we'll have to jump into it. And as a matter of fact, let's kind of get into it now a little bit because it's kind of a community update. Of course, we've been promoting Native Omaha Days, Native
mm,
Omaha Festival. We got hit up early on to promote this, and you've been seeing the commercials that we've been running. Didn't really know at the time there was like two organizations going in on Native Omaha Days. We've been hearing a lot of chatter lately. Of course, it's all over Friends of First Sky Omaha. Matter of fact, Precious McKesson put a post out. I'm going to put a link to her post in the chat so you can check it out. But her post has many, many, many flyers for events that are happening with the Native Omaha Days organization. So, what I'm understanding so far is that there's Native Omaha Festival going on, and Native Omaha Days are two different things. Native Omaha Days are with the Native Omaha Club, the original club, and Native Omaha Festival. I think might be I think maybe Empowerment Network is involved here and some other organizations. I'm not really sure what's what. Like I said, they hit us up before we understood anything that was happening there. Not understanding it was some division. There was also a post on Friends of First Sky Omaha by one of the vendors that was Shawnee who does Island Chill. She was talking about some of the money involved in having to be a vendor there, and she didn't really clarify which organization was charging, but there seems to be some situations going on here. And from the outsider's perspective, I'm kind of looking at it like, well, it's all going down. Native Omaha Days is Native Omaha Days. Families in town, we all gonna get together. We all gonna be outside. So so it's just a matter of like which events you want to go to and those types of things for us. Of course, we're not vendors, so anybody who is vendors is having some issues. It's definitely time to speak up on that and figure some things out. But yeah, it's unfortunate if there's some division going on here because we don't want that kind of thing to happen for Native Omaha Days. It's not what it's about. But there'll be more information on that coming out soon. And as a matter of fact, some detailed information on all these things coming out soon. But nonetheless, today is the first day of Native Omaha Days, technically. So, I drove by there the day before yesterday, saw people already setting up their camp, setting
oh
up
yeah.
tables on the block,
Wasting no time.
wasting no time. So it's going down, and of course, we want to hear from you, our listeners who are involved and and are getting down with Native Omaha Days as well, and hear from you about your perspective and what's going on and how you plan on getting down with it. This one right here, I'm really looking forward to is the commemorative street renaming ceremony that's happening on July the 29th. which is tomorrow, 6 p.m. at 24th and Laird. And they're going to be honoring Vera Johnson and Betty McDonald, who are the originators of Native Omaha Days from the Native Omaha Club. So it'll be interesting to join friends and family. It says of Vera Johnson and Betty McDonald, esteemed co-founders of Native Omaha Days, as we honor their legacy at the commemorative street renaming ceremony, proudly hosted by the Native Omaha Days and Days Organizing Committee and the Native Omahans Club. So it looks like this is the event that uh, both entities are putting together for honoring the two founders. As far as I'm concerned, we're reading between the lines on this stuff. So like I said, we'll be asking some questions and getting some more information on these things as it comes, and that's just all we really can say about that one.
Man, well,
Big way.
I
Hmm.
got a little bit more to say, but I'll save it for later.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear from you from you and also from everybody else that's getting down. Kimmer says, "Shouts out to Leo." Oh, we already read that one. She said, "I thought Shawnee said 600." Yeah, it was. Yeah, she said a few numbers, 3 to 4 on some lots, six to
Mm.
seven. Yeah, it was well, just the fact that you have, if you have a permit already. Anyway, we'll get into it. We'll definitely have to get into it. I appreciate everybody that's paying attention to this and speaking on it as well. Before we get too deep into it, though, there's a couple other events I definitely want to mention. This one right here, man. We got DC Young Fly coming out.
Hey,
DJ Breezy Bree. So that's what's up, man. Young and Fly Omaha Days Teen Party Extravaganza. This is really interesting as well. I really appreciate them putting some stuff together for the kids. This is happening on the 31st from 8 to midnight, looks like. Omaha Days Teen Party Extravaganza. So that's what's up. It's at the Omaha Design Center, 1502 Cumming Street. A best dressed cast giveaway. So you got to come fly and get busy and have a good time. I'm glad there's something out there this big for the youth to come to. I hope that everything goes well, and
man,
uh, with the event, it's interesting. Being a promoter of events, you never know until it goes down the day of, if your artist came into town and everything worked out all right. You know what I mean?
man,
Yeah. I'm anxious to see DC Young Fly myself. I would love to see him live. So
man,
pretty
cool shit.
excited about those things. Yeah, and then of course, Senator Cypher is back. Man, we're gonna have a special Senator Cypher this season because we're gonna have Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney coming back through every other week like we did last season, and then on the in between weeks, we're inviting other senators to come through as well, so we can kind of get to the point where we're speaking to many senators this session or this season for us. And if you want to speak to whoever is the senator for your district, let us know, and that's the one we'll invite first. So
Man,
shout out to them. Shout out to they're coming in pretty soon here. As a matter of fact, they're going to come in pretty early, 7:30 this morning. They're going to join us, and we're going to have some good discussion. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Buddy so we can get into the discussion a little bit before they get here. And those are the community details that we got going on right now. We'll speak more about more events and other things we got coming up a little later on in the show. But in the meantime, between time, what's the thread for the day, buddy?
yeah, I mean it's kind of a loose thread, but we're still in the season of spaces and places. And that's definitely an idea or concept we'll continue to explore in many different areas. Definitely talking about North Omaha Days and North Omaha specifically, what the Native North Omaha Days celebration means. And yeah, just personally, I have some feelings as I've been mentioning. I went out, camping over the weekend, and yeah, some interesting feelings about and reminders of why North Omaha and Native North Omaha Days are so special, because North Omaha is a safe haven for Black people in Nebraska, and reminding us that we are still in pretty red Nebraska, although the feeling is things are going more towards purple. Um, We'll see. We'll see. But I definitely want to talk about that feeling, spaces and places, and what it really means again to have our own space and place and continue to shape that for our vision. There's some definitely things to talk about. We'll definitely get into this Omaha Citizen Police Academy, something I haven't heard about, but apparently this is a common thing. And I have some questions for the folks. My man Paul B has some thoughts that he wants to share with you. But yeah, I have some questions for Paul in the chat. So definitely want to get into that. Also reminding some things or remembering some things from our discussion with actually Mayor Ewing. Again, we are working on this Lanes of Change project. We just had an interview with Mayor Ewing, very, very dope interview. And one of the things that jumped out to me was a question that he actually surprised me with. as far as his feeling of obligation to the black community. I'll be honest, had I got a all lives matter type answer, I maybe not have been surprised, but definitely appreciated the answer from Mayor Ewing, saying that, yeah, I do feel an obligation to the black community in North Omaha, being from North Omaha. And that is a welcome idea. So we're going to talk about that in our Senator Cypher. Again, how do we hold our elected officials accountable? But not just that, but what should we be doing as the people? Again, what ideas are we asking of them? What vision are we holding them to account to? So it all kind of wraps up. We'll be talking about all that and more. As always, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, missing the mark on some things, feel free to let us know. As always, this is a conversation live for the next 2 hours. Let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, about 15 minutes into this thing, Paul B,
Yo.
what's the word?
Man, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and jump into the conversation and anticipate our special guests, Senator Ashlei Spivey and Senator Terrell Mckinney, that's going to join us shortly. So stay tuned for that. And do us a favor, share the show on your page if you're on Facebook. Give people the link if you're on YouTube. Like and subscribe over there. Let's get as many people in the conversation as we can. And get your questions ready if you have questions for the senators. No, I don't think we're in session yet, but we are setting up for some things. They're going to give us a little recap on some of the things that's happened and things at stake right now. So going to be a very interesting conversation. Highly encourage you to stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, between time, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy the Guy.
Hey.
Be right back.
This summer, North Omaha comes alive. It's the Native Omaha Days Festival, a week-long celebration of culture, music, food, shopping, and powerful community reunions. Join locals, new residents, and visitors from around the globe for the ultimate homecoming experience. Get in on the fun. Find event details, vendor info, and more at nativeomahadays.org. Let's make memories together at Native Omaha Days, July 28th through August 4th.
Hello, I'm Tim Clark, Chairman of the Nebraska Commission on African American Affairs. Our mission is to improve the social, economic, and political status of Nebraska's African American community through legislation, advocacy, education, and engagement. We focus on key areas: health and wellness, tackling disparities like higher rates of chronic disease, promoting access to culturally competent care, economic empowerment, supporting entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and equitable access to resources. Housing, addressing systemic discrimination, promoting fair housing opportunities. Education, fighting inequality through better funding, teacher training, and culturally relevant instruction. And finally, justice, challenging racial disparities in the justice system and supporting community-led efforts. To learn more, visit us at ncaa.nebraska.gov. We're committed to building a stronger and more equitable Nebraska together. Thank you.
Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And
Hey.
shout out to Tim Clark for delivering that message as well. We're definitely planning on having somebody over from the commission to talk about what's going on over there, because there's been a lot in the news. And as you can see, they got messages that they're trying to get out here to prove what it is that they're actually working on over there as well. So get your questions ready for that organization too. That's coming soon. And we will be discussing that further. In the meantime, between time, we'll go ahead and jump into the thread. Buddy, what's first on the agenda?
Yeah, man, continuing this wave of thinking our own thoughts here on the show, and kind of trying not to let the news dominate, although we do definitely talk about the news a lot. Try to put it in our own box and not accept the premise, if you will, as my man Paul B likes to say. Again, as I mentioned, for those of you just now tuning in, welcome. First Guy Omaha in the morning. Man, hopefully you had a good weekend. I had a great weekend, man. Camping with the family over the weekend, and just a real good start to the Native Omaha Days celebration. Definitely looking forward to that. Actually, in the news, we'll start off with some feel good stories. Looking forward to this golf classic that's a part of the Omaha Days celebrations that's going on. Actually, rest in peace to Steve Hogan, who is the namesake of the golf course where the classic will be held. And there's actually a special guest, 102-year-old Bob Walls, according to Channel 3. Shout out to Melissa Wright doing the reporting as always. Again, he's a World War II veteran and now a golf enthusiast. And Mr. Bob Walls, who actually, now that I'm looking at his picture, I remember seeing Mr. Walls around the golf course every once in a while. Again, Steve Hogan golf course. Actually, golfing is something that I did with my father a lot of times, in addition to camping. So definitely looking forward to this situation, and it's just reminding me of, like, man, a golf classic in North Omaha versus kind of the feel that I had out camping in Ashland, Nebraska.
Mm.
And you know, if anybody has any connects in Ashland, please let me know. And this could be my own bias. I will acknowledge that as well. But just being out in rural areas where I'm the only black face kind of gets to feel a little sundownsy a little bit. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, in reference to sundown towns, and the reminder that when you just go out of the sphere of North Omaha, where, again, as a native of North Omaha, I'm comfortable, but it feels a little different. 30 minutes, 45 minutes away. And it just reminds me of the importance of, protecting North Omaha, and the importance of celebrating North Omaha, like we've been talking about with this Native Omaha Day celebration, and why I'm disappointed to see what's going on with this whole rift that's happening. Again, we don't have all the details, but it is obvious some controversy is going on, and it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. I will say Paul kind of mentioned that we didn't know that there were two groups. Kind of, I was familiar with the makeup of Native Omaha Days, again, as a native Omahan, um, but I didn't know it was this ugly as what I'm seeing on social media. So yeah, I would like to, talk to some individuals, some official people on the committees and on the boards and the clubs, and try to figure out what's really going on. But kind of going back to my our conversation on Friday, really about going into the next frontier, and how, just as humans, we got to get it together, man. Got to get it together, and in particular in North Omaha, it's too small and too important to be representing like this.
And I want to say too, like, we got to be clear a little bit as well, because we don't really know. We haven't spoken to either one of the groups yet, so
Hmm.
we don't know if they're more in line than we think they are. Like, we don't quite know. We just know that the community has been chiming up in a big way, and feeling like there's a rift, and feeling like there's two entities. We get. I've been checking out the post of Precious McKesson. Shout out to Precious for saying the thing she said on the show the other day as well. Like, people are making a big distinction. It's a Native Omaha club. It's not Native Omaha festival. Although there's other groups that are saying it is now Native Omaha festival. They're putting the word festival on there because there's a lot more events and things going on. So when we got tapped to be able to spread the word on this, we got tapped by the Native Omaha Festival people, which is that commercial that you just saw there. And as I went in to go look for some of the individual things that were going on for Native Omaha Days, I realized that I was pulling from both entities.
Hmm.
Like this one right here is a welcome home social mixer that's happening on the 31st at the Elks Lounge. I believe this is the Native Omaha Club people that are doing this. As we mentioned earlier, the commemorative street naming that's happening has both of the entities on there, so they might be doing this in conjunction with each other for the street naming of the founders, Vera Johnson, Betty McDonald. And then of course the commercial that you saw there was a lot of different kinds of events as well. I put in the chat a little earlier Precious McKesson's post, because she had a post that had maybe 30 different flyers on it for events that were going on, and we really haven't gotten any information quite yet on the individual events, and how to map out your week, like we've been kind of touting all week long last week, how to map your week out as far as what events you're going to go to. And if it is a situation where there's one group doing events and another group doing other events, that might be where there's a clash there too. And like I said, most of the word that we're getting from the community. So again, I just want to kind of reiterate that we don't know how in cahoots the two groups are. They might be doing stuff together, and we don't really know. But it feels in the community a little bit like there's a rift, and the community has been speaking up about it, and that's the reason why we got to kind of speak up about it as well. But like you're saying, buddy, the bottom line is that this is Native Omaha week. and the main thing for me is just what you're talking about. We live in a state where there's more militia groups than most states
Yeah,
around us. And if you drive out 35, 45, 50 minutes out, you're feeling a little bit like you better watch your six. And when you get back to North Omaha area, there is a feeling of safety being in the area, and that is the reason why everybody cares about here so much. I think back to when stuff started going down with the Union for Contemporary Art and how the brothers jumped up and come and protect 24th and protect the Deuce. Emotions are real high because what area do we have that we call ours?
man, man, and it's important. And really, living in Atlanta, I think about that too, and like really the dynamics of this country, and how this country is made up, man. And it really is when you one thing that jumps out is I always remember that political landscape map, and it was the whole country was red with a bunch of blue dots everywhere, and all the blue dots were your major metropolitan, democratically led cities, and most of the rural areas were red, and even living in a black mecca like Atlanta, where it's blackety black in Atlanta. Living in Atlanta, you are often reminded it's still in Georgia.
It's
You
still
better stay in them counties where you know what's going on. Go to the wrong county if you want to.
I mean, they're trying to put Cop City right in the middle of the Black Mecca.
So that man, and that takes us, man, right up to let's keep going with the conversation, because also in Atlanta is the Citizen Police Academy, which is something that I didn't really know about and am just learning about. But this is very, very interesting, and this goes right back to our whole conversation of protecting the community. And the saying goes, the value that you put on something goes along with the protection that you put on.
Mm,
You know, if you hey, you're not gonna just leave a Porsche just on the side of the road if you got a garage. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I hope not. At least I hope not. So again, this Citizen Police Academy, I'm just going to throw it out to the chat. I mean, especially Sister Cameron, you're active in the chat right now. Your son is somebody who has been actively recruited by the Omaha Police. Have you heard about this? And also your work with the library and the Omaha Police. Are you familiar with this Citizen Review, or what is it? Citizen Police Academy? Very, very interesting. You got some pictures?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull them up as we go.
Man, it's yeah, I wanna yeah, we gotta see. And okay, camera in the chat giving some information. She says Omaha had a Citizens Police Academy, so does the FBI. That's interesting. Didn't know about the FBI one. But yeah, here you see the Omaha Police Academy. This is a several week citizen group, kind of similar to what we're doing with content creators camp. This is the police basically teaching citizens about policing. And I'm kind of split on how I'm feeling about this. Again, this is for me going in a few different directions, and I'm gonna ask you, Paul, and I'm gonna let you kind of go on your direction that you're choosing. But again, is this the Omaha City, Omaha Police deputizing citizens? Kind of, we've been talking about sheriff deputies, sheriffs deputizing citizens and giving them police powers, almost forming pseudo militia groups, kind of similar to what we've seen in Wisconsin. Kenosha, and that's the town I was thinking of. Kenosha,
Mm.
Wisconsin. Yeah, that situation. Or is it simply just another PR move by police? Again, Atlanta has a similar type of situation, and the whole idea is to, as they say, inform the public about, just learn more about the police and policing and how they move and what their day-to-day work day looks like behind the curtain, behind the blue shield, if you will, so you can better understand and interact with the police. Is it a PR move in that way? Or is it, as we've been talking about, another form of community policing? Like, is this what community policing looks like? Them kind of arming the community to police themselves. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we'll jump into it. As a matter of fact, we have our special guest waiting in the wings, and I'd love to hear from him on this one. And we'll go ahead and bring him in. I'll share my
Man,
thoughts a little later. As you can see, Kimra Snipes is in the chat talking about the ones that she went through, and she's giving us some information. No, you're not deputized. She says she learned about the different departments within the police department. She found it to be very informative. I thought it was very informative. It lasted about 6 weeks or 4 weeks. Don't remember. So yeah, she's giving us some information on that. She says, for instance, you will have domestic violence detective come in and talk to you about domestic violence. You will have officers come in from the homicide department and talk about homicide.
Yep.
So lots of lots of stuff there. And also Black Dynamite in the chat. Good morning, Black Dynamite. He's in the chat, says, I want to make a citizen's arrest in my Karen's voice. So yeah, there's a lot of different angles that we can go to, but we do
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Senator Terrell McKinney in the wings. We'll bring him in, see what he has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first Senator Cypher of the season, brother McKinney, Senator McKinney, put some respect on his name. Good morning, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing all right. Doing all
Just
right.
trying to
Peace,
stay
peace.
cool, bro. It's a little warm already for me. I got the air conditioner blasting already. Like, man, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
hot one today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, bro. I'm straight.
That's good,
Man,
man.
looking forward
Yeah.
to the festivities this week. Any
Yeah.
thing on your schedule?
Not necessarily. I'm gonna try to go to a few things. I've tried to be intentional and not like putting something directly on my schedule. Trying to
Yeah,
just go with the flow.
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
the, I'm the same way of that. I was gonna try to plan my week out this time around. I was just like, man, I'm gonna just go down and hang out, walk around, and go with the flow. See who's going where and what's happening. So I
Man,
Yeah.
feel that. I feel that. Well, before we get going, man, first of all, I just want to welcome you back to Senator Cypher. Really appreciate you joining us again this season. I believe you guys are not in session right now. Is that right?
Yeah. We got a session right now.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so you got a little freedom in the morning there to come on through and talk to us. And we definitely want to talk to you today about
Yeah.
some of this where we're at. Some of the stuff that's happened last season, some of the stuff you're looking forward to coming up. But before we get there, man, just what's on top of your mind? Just want to hear your thoughts on what's going on with everything.
On top of my mind, man, just Omaha Days week, just that looking at what's going on as far as making sure like seeing what's going on with the people at City View and them getting moved out, hoping that goes smoother. But they have been getting moved out, which is good, but still not all of them yet. I did meet with some of the commissioners from OHA last week and had a good conversation with them.
Mm,
If you call it good, but just let them know, that the community don't feel the same that they feel. Because I feel from that conversation, I just felt like they were like it's a huge disconnect. They feel like nothing is wrong. Like literally, I'm being truthful about it. Like
wow.
they don't feel like you know, a lot of what's been going on over the past year or two is wrong in a sense. They kind of feel as though like they've been doing a good job, and I just kind of was like, well, let's be honest with you. Community feel like OHA is a horribly ran organization from top to bottom, and just these are the issues. And I think the biggest thing that I saw in that meeting was that for whatever reason citizens complaints aren't getting to the commissioners, and I got a good
Mm,
idea why, but I feel as though we have to find a way to make sure citizens complaints are getting directly to the commissioners and making sure the commissioners are more informed about what's going on, because for whatever reason either they were just outright lying to me or they just are not getting the information. It's either or. It's there's
Mm,
no in between with it. So I proposed to them. Okay, well, how about I have a town hall or some type of meeting in a tower? And they was like, okay, if you do it, we'll show up. So I'm gonna try to work to try to have some type of town hall in the tower and invite some of the residents to come speak their mind and try to see what happened there. But I think that's the issue.
that's what's up, man. Appreciate that. We
Mhm.
also got our other senator waiting in the wings. Want to bring her in as well, ladies and gentlemen. Senator Ashley Spivey. Put some respect on her name. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Hanging in there this morning.
That's
Appreciate you.
it.
Hey, brother. How are
peace,
you?
peace, peace.
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. I feel like I haven't talked to you all weekend. Me and Senator McKinney talk
I know.
like every single day, and I have not talked to him all weekend. What you been doing? Why you ain't text me?
You like, wait a minute now. Where you at? Where you at? Well, we appreciate you coming on in. As we said to Senator McKinney a little earlier, just thank you for joining us again for
Yeah.
the season of Senator Cypher. I was very happy when you said you wanted to come back for all the seasons. I was like, yes, that's what's up.
Yeah, and it's wild. I will go a lot of places and people will say, "Hey, I saw you on First Sky. I'm a chat chimer." And, they'll bring up different topics. So y'all have a really great impact and it's nice to be able to be in community in this way. So I enjoy it, even though y'all did say I'm not your favorite senator duo with Senator McKinney yet. I'm not going to say who's your favorite, but I'm not there yet. So
But you check your volume on your headphones real quick. I just wanted to, yeah, we're gonna get you in clear. But like I said, like you, all of our favorites. We just have to, like it's a time thing. It's a time thing.
got
Like,
it.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We got to give them the credit.
I'm still a
But
freshman. I'm still a
that's
freshman.
right. That's right. That's right. Well, before we jump back into Senator McKinney's points he's making here on the on what's going on with City View, because I want to get your points on that as well. But I want to give you the opportunity just to say top of mind for you before we jump into any of the subjects. What's top of mind for you, just when in regards to what just happened in the previous session, what's coming up, or just in general?
Yeah.
We know that you do much more than just legislative work. So, what's top of mind for you right now?
I think really getting a handle on my interim studies. One of my interim studies that I've been spending a lot of time on is the skilled gaming machines. So these are like the machines that you see in every gas station, in every tobacco shop.
Hmm.
They're at restaurants. They're called skilled games. I feel like they are very much more resembling of slot machines.
Right.
And I think they are predatory. And so in District 13, and I would say 11, they are everywhere. And I have a lot of concerns. And so I have, hi, baby, good morning. I had the chair of general affairs just out in the district to go look at them and like just trying, and I have an interim study just around the impacts of them and what it looks like. And so I think from what are kind of my top priorities, interim studies and especially addressing skilled games and what they're
Hmm.
doing to community.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. I hadn't thought about any of those kinds of games there. That's interesting that that is the case. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Well, and they're not, I feel like so skilled games got ruled on by the Supreme Court that they can be in all these places, but like you don't learn an actual skill. That's the issue. And it's like fuels addiction. You'll see a concentration of them in lower income areas. Like I have seen literally people outside in a Mega Saver parking lot asking for cash to come in and play a machine.
Wow.
I mean, and so I feel like they are very predatory. And at a casino, you have to drive to get there. There's not public transit that takes you, right? If you are on an like a gambler's list, they don't let you in when you scan your ID. That's not the case with these machines, and they're marketed like casinos. You'll see like win big outside, jackpot, all of that.
Mm.
So I just have real issues for I think what they are doing to community. So.
That is very very interesting. I'm definitely going to think more about that. Look into that too, because you're right. Like I got a lot of family in Vegas, and I see those kinds of machines, and they're actual slot machines in gas stations and places around Vegas. And I don't really, now that I think about it, I don't really see too big of a difference to them of the Mega Saver ones. And they are made to be addictive. They're made to gamify everything and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's really interesting. Really interesting. Brand new one on me. Yeah. That's something else. Well, let's jump back into Senator McKinney. He, said that he has had some discussions with OHA, and of course we know right now there's a deadline coming up for the people for City View to go out. Have you had any interaction, Senator Spivey, on City View situations at all?
No, when folks were kind of doing the support of like food and advocacy, I sponsored, but there are a lot of people on the front lines working to address City View. And I think it brings up, there are a number of city views, and I think it just brings up an issue of like affordable, safe housing, and how do we hold landlords accountable, especially in our city. And so I had a bill around that. It was around like creating a standard of living. And so you have to provide like heat and air now, but I added in like pests and infestation. I added in mold. And when I tell you them landlords came and opposed me, and I'm so thankful for my brother on that committee who was like asking them the hard questions, because, and my brother being Senator McKinney, because I mean, it just like, it feels like they don't care, and that tenants don't have as many rights as the property owners. And so I'm thankful for the folks that are on the front lines helping to get folks rehomed and getting them moved. And I think it takes all of us to do that. So
yeah, let me jump over to Senator McKinney on that. What's next steps for that, Brother McKinney?
Next step for me is to try to get something set up within the towers to have a deeper conversation with the residents. And shout out to Clarice, who's been doing some great work with the residents in OHA housing, and I want to try to continue to work with her and others in the community to continue to outreach to the community. We had a great town hall at the Malcolm X Memorial Center a couple weeks ago and had a good conversation, but it identified that we need to have deeper conversations and more conversations with residents, because it's so much that's going on and it's so much that they were saying, and we just didn't have enough time to take in all the information. So I want to try to start having deeper conversations with the residents to try to take in the information and take it back to the commissioners so they can't deny that these things are happening.
Yeah, totally.
In regards to City View specifically, any conversation with the city of Omaha or advocates that are helping about what's going to happen with the remaining citizens? I think late last week it was reported that about 40 tenants are left. Earlier this morning, Omaha World Herald reports that there's actually some that may be facing eviction. They say Friday was the last day for them to move out before eviction proceedings go forward, which we all know, especially in this economy, and eviction on your record could mean some trouble. So any discussion on that?
Last conversation I had with Tamika Meese, who's with North Omaha Community Partnership, was that they were trying to get everybody out as much as possible, and they were just dealing with a lot of people who were housed or still housed in City View deal with a multitude of issues, and getting them rehoused in other spaces aren't it's super difficult because they might have other things on their like rental history. So it's not as easy as saying leave City View and find a new apartment somewhere else, because some of them were getting denied at multiple spaces. So it's taking longer than what people would actually think, because a lot of people have those type of things going on, but other people just deal with different issues too. And just the whole process of getting them rehoused, making sure they get new furniture and all those type of things is a process. So it's going to take a longer time. So I'm hopeful that all of them get rehoused and that they don't get evicted and other things don't happen. But it's a bunch of things going on there. It's not as easy as just saying, City View is a horrible space, let's just move you across the street.
Right.
well, and like, why did it have to get to this point? Like, housing is like fundamental to health. And so, like, again, like City View and other public housing spaces that accept vouchers that are for folks that maybe have lower incomes, we know how they treat their tenants. And it's like, that's not a standard of living. Like, you wouldn't allow your dog to be there. So, like, why are we not advocating to hold these folks accountable and for like truly like quality housing? And then it has to get to this point where it's like inhabitable, like that. Then now they're moved. Like, I feel like that is again like terrible treatment of our neighbors and like just like basic humanity. And so I appreciate Senator McKinney always taking on like housing as an advocate and like making sure that we address the issues.
I feel that.
Yeah. Oh,
Senator Spivey, you're something's going on with your sound. Can you do us a favor and go out and come back in? I'll go through the chat while we're
Oh
waiting.
no.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll do that.
well,
okay, appreciate it. Uh, yeah, so while she's doing that, I just wanted to give a shout out to Roscoe Wallace that came into the chat. Appreciate that. He's saying great job, Tamika with City View, which
mhm.
we want to give Tamika a whole lot of credit for what she got going on over there. As a matter of fact, she put a post out saying we're down to the wire. I pray that we can keep up my word, finding housing for every single tenant. I thank God for every partner, driver, mover, and staff involved. Let's continue to rebuild, uplift, and empower together. Shout out to Tamika Meese in a big way for that. That sounds better over there. Sounds
Oh,
good.
good. Can I? Where's my Brother sleeping. So Dave Pantos is in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah,
want to
shout it out.
uplift. Okay. And so we at Ivy Black Girl have found that a lot of Black moms, specifically women with kids, are having some issues. I'll open gate in just a minute, baby. And we had him come and do some office hours at IB Black Girl, and he's been able to take on some clients and really lift up stories around like what people are facing when it comes to like eviction court and how folks have gotten there. So I just wanted to uplift him just as like on the legal side, because I see him in the chat, that it's been really helpful because again, as Senator McKinney said, you think it's one thing and there's like all of these different layers to what does it look like in navigating eviction or even before you get there. So it really does take all of us within this ecosystem to try to figure it out.
Yeah, appreciate that. Shout
Yeah.
out to Miss Clary's Don back in the chat saying we need more funds to rehouse people. Also, brother William King 957 the boss says this wasn't planned from the beginning. I knew this would be a problem because housing or poor people have always been an issue.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. And just I'm thinking to add on to what Senator Spivey is saying, not just how it got to this point, but how when it gets to this point, how it's handled. And the fact that, some of these people are still possibly facing eviction after it was promised that they wouldn't. And after, there was supposed to be a plan. And I understand the challenges were coming up with a plan, but it does feel like on the behalf of OHA, the city of Omaha, the fact that these people still are now having to face eviction, not because they did something wrong, but because the property was trash and poorly managed, and now they still have more problems on top of the problems that they already have. No doing to no doing of their own. So again, shout out to Dave Pontos, who was doing great work, as Senator Spivey said, in representing these people in eviction court. And I hope senators, Pontos, um, will there be any protections, or is there any way to expunge this eviction if they are evicted from their record, or kind of protect them from this any damages that come out of this situation?
You know,
I don't know. I mean, I'm hopeful that, individuals like Dave and others are able to assist the residents that might face these situations, because if not, they might not have any protections, just to be honest. I'm not going to say it because the resources are limited. But the biggest issue that I see here is that the lack of proactive measures in place to address situations like this, because in a perfect world the city should have some emergency emergency temporary housing for people like this, to where they could stay and we could transition them into better spaces. That's what I think should be put in place in the future, where if you have a Yale Park or you have a City View, you have some, like I've seen in other spaces where like the city just bought a hotel and just remodeled it and triaged all the services that are needed for these individuals in one space and had the housing and those type of things. I think that's what needs to happen, so you can temporarily house them and you're not doing a rush job to try to get them into other spaces. You could figure out what's actually going on with each individual, and then you could get them in the right spaces, and it's not such a chaotic situation.
and I
Okay.
think now too, the opportunity is working with the city. We have new executive leadership, right? And so I think one of the things that we can continue to do is coordinate across levels of government, which both Senator McKinney and I have been working on. I have a meeting with the mayor's office tomorrow. They've been super responsive to like my concerns and just what I hope the city would step into. And then I think also, like, we have to think about housing and a comprehensive approach to like social drivers of health, because there's other things that I think are causing folks to be in situations where they are more vulnerable, right? Like maybe it's a disability, or they're navigating addiction, or just other things. And I had or even just like aging. So part of my district goes to like 72nd, like it bumps up there like in Ames area, and I drove by the Keystone apartments, and I mean they've been there forever, and now they're like it's senior housing, and I drove past it, and I'm like, I'm concerned about what the inside looks like
Mm.
the way I see elderly folks or folks that are like in like wheelchairs outside, and what it gives. I'm again concerned about what happens inside, and it's like a rehabilitation center. There's also a nursing home side, and so again, I think we need more community care, and like we need to be having eyes on these people to make sure, like again, they're some of the most vulnerable among us. Like, who's taking care of y'all? Y'all just can't treat our people any kind of way. These are our neighbors, our family, and we hold people accountable that say that they provide this type of service.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's a real situation. I actually have a friend, you know, who they have strong feelings that their grandmother passed from a UTI that she received from poor care in a facility, and not being, looked after, cleansed well. So, and I've heard many other stories from, friends who work in that industry, or whether in the, dietary kitchen areas, or nursing. So I definitely appreciate that. I do want to take a pivot. What you thinking, Paul?
Yeah, but well, before we do, I just kind of want to get their word real quick on some things that we've been talking about here. We're talking about lanes of change, and our theory is that there's all these different lanes that need to come together like a freeway, and really kind of push through a city in order to make some change. Housing is one of those things, and I find it sometimes a little difficult to kind of wrap my head around that. But you can't really make change in the community unless you have your housing situation is really taken care of. And I just kind of wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that. But before we go too abstract, buddy, you did have some points I wanted you to get to as well. So maybe we can come back to that. But I just wanted, while we were talking about housing, just kind of wanted to get their idea on how housing and even homelessness, housing and homelessness, and these kinds of stop gaps that we're talking about putting in place for people. How does that fit in this idea of making change in our community? Where does it stand for you guys on that? So if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. If not, I'll pass it to Buddy to go ahead and pivot on this. But I just kind of got my wheels turning about this because you guys are kind of in the forefront of pushing for making some change there. How important is it in our community compared to some of the other things we need?
I think it's super important. I think it's important for us to look at all intersections of issues because they all overlap with each other. Honestly, I think all our issues intersect with each other, whether it's housing, the criminal justice system, education system. I think every topic that we talk about intersect with the other one, and something bad in one causes something in the other. So I think we have to think about all lanes because they all intersect and have some trickle down effect to the other. So I think it's
Cool.
it's definitely important.
Yep. Senator Spivey.
Plus one. I know we don't have as much time, so I agree with everything Senator McKinney said.
Appreciate that. Right on, right on. Yeah, let's go ahead and yeah, we'll definitely, this will be something I hopefully we'll talk about over a period of time as well. But I appreciate that. Last thought. Tony Johnson in the chat says North Omaha has a lot of certified caretakers. Can a group be put together to provide them a residence building to provide better quality care? There are a couple of buildings in North Omaha. We do have some vacant buildings, and I think it's a good question, good area to go down to try to find some stop gaps here when people are in trouble that way. So I appreciate that. So same thing. Marlon Harrison says, and I remember when the Yale Park apartment situation happened, and there was a call for holding bad landlords accountable, and those same landlords fought against it. Shake my head. This is what
Mm.
I feel like Senator McKinney is told us a little bit earlier in the chat here when he said that. He's like, they don't think there's a problem. Like that kind of blew my mind a little bit. Like, how do you not know? How you living in Omaha? Don't hear the people. Don't watch the news. Don't see the complaints, and literally can, with a straight face, say that they don't see that there's a problem. It's kind of crazy to me. So
Man, they
The
know.
honest issue, if I'm being honest, they don't live in a community and they white.
there you go.
But no boys say either they don't know, they don't show, or they just don't care about what goes
Care
on
about
in the
what goes
hood.
on in the hood.
But I'll tell you who does care. Mary Ewing. Mary Ewing. Again, I had a conversation with Mary Ewing. We had a conversation with Mary Ewing last week, and to kind of echo what you were saying, Senator Spivey, as far as the opportunity to get things done and to change things in all of these lanes. Um, Very, very interesting. I will say on my last thought on the housing situation, kind of looking forward, Mayor Ewing did mention that there is some announcements, some money that will possibly be invested in affordable housing from the city of Omaha coming soon. So definitely looking forward, and I'm pretty sure that you two have, in some capacity, been in conversation with Mayor Ewing about those plans. So definitely looking forward to those developments. But I do want to pivot into something that's kind of more near and dear to your heart, Senator Spivey, but is very connected to the housing situation. Again, very adjacent to housing is childcare. It's all about family. It's all about again, what happens in that situation, keeping the family together and keeping the family educated, safe, and taken care of. And there's been some movements in the child care situation. Apparently, there's some senators looking for ways to fund child care and to help states subsidies for child care. Can you kind of speak to what that situation is? Actually, something near and dear to my heart. Kind of dealing again with 3 babies who are finally about to be in school, but having to deal with them in the preschool ages at home myself has been a handful. What is that situation going on, and what does that look like at the state level?
Well, first, my little one is trying to be like Terrell. He was like, "Is that Terrell?" And then he put on his big brother's headphones to match.
Nice.
um, yeah, I mean, I've said this before. We did not debate one child care bill in the ledge last year. And that's disappointing because no matter if you're urban, rural, Republican, Democrat, like childcare is a workforce issue. It's an economic development issue. It's a family, like community betterment issue. And that's something that we can all agree on, that we need stronger childcare safety nets. It has to be quality, it has to be affordable. And so I did bring a bill to look at a state subsidy that would complement Title 20, which is the Fed subsidy program.
Mm.
Right now, we have a sunset for our Title 20 program where it'll go back to 130% of the poverty line from 185. And Senator Wendy DeBoer, she's an Omaha senator, is working to bring that next session. Okay, all right. He wants to be seen. And so I think for me, I've been talking to Nebraska Early Childhood Collaborative. I've been talking to home in-home programs, other centers around what we can do around childcare. I just had a meeting with the state chamber around, is the business community going to come in and support some childcare policy? And so I'll be probably bringing 2 or 3 bills around childcare, just so we can ensure that it's accessible, that we can have culturally relevant care as well, and not just a ton of centers, that we can have different modes of childcare, and that we really ensure that like people are able to get what they need to either stay in the workforce or just having that strong educational component. So
Sounds good. Senator McKinney, is there anything that you just backing her stuff, or you got something too?
Yeah, I'm back her stuff. I think it's very important. Childcare is definitely important, honestly, for everybody, for all the reasons she just said, and just being honest. One thing I was thinking about, because I do got to hop off because I got class in a little bit. I think we should stop saying affordable housing,
Mm.
because and I want to say this because I've been to a couple conferences this summer, and what people are saying nationally is like quality attainable housing. They're not
Mm.
even saying affordable housing, because
Mhm.
affordable is what does it mean? I think we need to start saying quality attainable housing. I think that makes more sense. But I'm looking forward to the week, and I hope everybody enjoy the week, and enjoy family and friends and have a good time, and I hope that everything goes well. But thank
Pre-
you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on for sure.
No problem.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, love it, love it. Well, yeah, we appreciate those answers for sure. I definitely want to. Before we let you go, too, I know that we kind of agreed on that 8 o'clock, but if you can stay for a minute longer, just to let us know what's your plans for Native Omaha Day and what's your thoughts on things going on. How you feel?
Oh, y'all always try to come with the questions, Paul B. I'm excited. So I am a native Omaha. My family is not though. So me, my sister, and my kids are born here. Everyone else was born in Oklahoma. So I'm like the first
Oh,
generation of like native Omahans.
nice.
And so I'm going to speak at a church. I'm doing a welcome at the Gospel Fest. I do
Okay.
not go out. I'm at home with my kids and my husband, and I'm trying to like rub my feet together under the covers. And so, Precious is getting me out on Saturday for the homecoming dance. And then one of my constituents is also in Alpha, and I was best friends with his daughter in high school, and he invited all of the senators out to the pink ice event for the Alphas and AKAs on Friday. So I'm going to that ball. I have an award I'm getting
Mm,
from Black and Pink on Thursday for their Revolutionary Gala. And Black and Pink does a lot of work with system impacted folks that also identify as queer and are navigating HIV. And so I just love the work that they do. They have a ribbon cutting for their campus, which does housing
Mm.
work. And so I'll be going to those things. So, like, just like community based events, I'm trying to stay out the way. I'm gonna be in a parade. If people want to walk with me, I need somebody to hold my sign. Like, let me know.
yeah.
That's really it. So,
Okay.
and I'm just trying to like not get involved with any of the other stuff.
Smart,
Okay.
smart, smart.
Well, we appreciate your answer. We appreciate your visit. Thank you so much for coming back with us on this Senator Cypher each
Yeah.
every other week. And
Thank
we're going to be
you.
reaching out to some other senators in between weeks, having other guest senators on from other districts that our chat chimers live in. So if you have any connections or any allies or anybody that you think we ought to be talking to, let us know too, and
Oh
let's hook you up.
yeah.
Mhm.
I absolutely will. And then one thing I just wanted to uplift is just again y'all's work because I think y'all always make space. Is that I was at the Boys and Girls Club in my district at Mount View, and they are looking at starting like a podcast, and they have like a journalism like program or inspiration that they're trying to do. And I connected one of the directors with Paul B to kind of try to figure that out. And so I mean, outside of the show and the platform, y'all do so much around storytelling, narrative, and just making sure people have a voice in the way in which makes sense for them. And I love young people. I feel like I've been spending a lot of time with the younger folks. Like, if by young, I mean like 18 and younger. And so I think when we invest in them, it just makes such a difference. So thank you, Paul B, for entertaining my text quickly. And Buddy, just like always being willing to jump into community wherever y'all can. So I just also want to give y'all a couple of flowers before I jump
Hey,
off.
I appreciate
thank
you.
you,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
All right.
Thank
I'll
you.
see y'all
Thank you.
later.
Love to the
Peace,
family. We'll
peace,
see you
peace.
soon. Oh, that was nice. That's what's up.
Man, always nice to
Yeah.
get some flowers.
Yeah, man. It's always nice to get some flowers here and there. Appreciate that. Appreciate all of you that came in with some comments and as well and gave some time to the senators. Apologize about the audio issues there. I hope it wasn't too distracting. We were able to really hear what Senator Spivey had to say and understand where she's coming from, which is all that really matters. So I appreciate her coming on. Appreciate Senator McKinney taking some time out this morning too before his class and this is the beginning of Senator Cypher. So we'll have them back on in a couple weeks and talk. We have some other video and some other content that we're making coming up as well. So look for that because there'll be some conversations we'll have with them even before the next Senator Cypher on some of these lanes of change videos that we're working on too on the next few weeks. So stay tuned for some of that stuff and. Yeah, just really, and some of you in the chat. There's some chat chimers that I'm seeing in the chat that I'm like, you know what, we'll be talking to you as well on some things. So appreciate that very, very much. Kimra in the chat is saying one stops we were create under the Obama. What was she talking about here? Oh, she
Yeah,
says the
you
office of
dipping in.
AIM.
Yeah.
Yeah, the office on AIMS is supposed to serve as a one stop. It holds MOU with multiple organizations, and the goal is to provide a wholesome approach to job search. Interesting. Okay, that's what the unemployment office on AIMS does. Sounds good. One stop shop. One stop were created under the Obama administration. Interesting. I didn't even know that shop existed. So I appreciate that info. She says, so when I was working up there, they had an MOU with the Department of Labor, MCC, and other organizations like that. Okay, you kind of bringing it back to my mind now. They also get funding from Congress that is trickled down through the State Department and Labor. A lot of it goes towards the WIOA program. Okay, some more information on that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that information as well. Always coming with the good stuff. Katie Rain in the chat. Appreciate it. Keep it going. Keep us informed. Thank you for all the work that you're doing as well, and all the information. We've been getting a lot of posts from people that are sharing information about what's going on here. This is the beginning of Native Omaha Days, and we can't get away from the conversation about the stuff that's going on, and at the same time talking about the events that we're going to be going to and frequenting as well. So let us know about which events you're deciding to go to this week. If you have planned your week out, I'm going to be more like how Senator McKinney just described, kind of going with the flow. Get out on the block and see some things and see where people are going, and go with the flow on that. But there's some events like the dance that Senator Spivey was just talking about. Matter of fact, I think I found some of the advertising for that. This huge dance that she's going to be going to. There'll be some opportunities for you to dress up, go out. The homecoming dance happening August 2nd from 8 to 1 in the morning. Level Event Center, 5421 North 103rd Street. You guys will know where Level Event Center is now, right? And there'll be some special guests coming in. So this will be an interesting event as well for you to kind of get your dress up on and go to the homecoming dance. And apparently, Senator Spivey will be there. Precious McKesson will be there. So again, so many events happening. Which ones are you going to be going to? Love to hear about that. Buddy, what's on your mind over there? It's 8:06 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're now in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I see you over there, wheels turning. What you thinking about, bud?
Yeah, my thread is completely destroyed. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're in outer space. We can do things very
Yeah.
Afrofuturistically abstract. So if you wanted to just jump in back to the thread as if we were in another dimension, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
with
Well,
you.
I asked the question, and the question was kind of ignored, but we can get back to it as far as Omaha City Police Academy.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
yeah.
We didn't get back to it. We did not get
No,
back.
no, we didn't. But we can keep it going. Again, that's the beauty of another hour. So many things to talk about. Definitely love to hear from all of you. And Paul, yeah, again, you have some thoughts on that. Man, would love to hear the senator's thoughts on that. But
I know. Yeah, my bad.
yeah. We got that deep in the city view story, and I was like, yeah, it's no going back. It's no going back.
Yeah, and I thought, and of course, I forgot that we had a time restraint today on that. We usually can go for as long as we need to go with them, but there was a time restraint today, so yeah. But
All good. All good.
get back to that story. If you guys are just joining us, buddy was talking about a story that was posted in Friends of First Sky earlier, Friends of First Sky Omaha earlier
Hey.
about the citizen police training that just went down. So apparently, this is something that was new to me. Was this new to you, buddy? Hearing about this?
Yeah, and I've never heard of this. It's nothing I've ever heard of, but apparently it is something that is not new. It is something that again many cities have, many departments. Denver has one, Atlanta has one, and of course Omaha has one.
Anybody in the chat, have you heard of this before? It reminds me of kind of like deputizing in the sheriff's department, like people that aren't sheriffs but can be deputized to be sheriffs. Kimra Snipes says she's went through some of these classes and said you're not deputized. It's not anything like that. But it is a class where citizens come and try and get some training on being citizen police. I pulled it right away because of course, I have some concerns about it. My concerns have to do with just in general arming people to be more authoritarian. We're dealing with the police department already, and we got citizens thinking that they're police. Uh, Jumping, more reasons for people to get in your business. Like we already feel like we got a problem with people minding their own business in general, but so anyway, that was kind of just simply my thought on that. Just seeing that police department actually put that post out on Facebook, I reposted it on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and that was my first thought. Like, okay, so we're trying to bring on another 100 to 150 more police officers in the police department, and there's also a citizen police group, and there was something like 36 people signed up for. We've been
Yeah.
showing pictures. You've been showing pictures of the classes that they have that posted. The police department posted for the people that were there, and some of the things that they were um, uh, trying to teaching people about. I found those talking about some overdose. Looks like a lieutenant that's talking about narcotics, and I can't really read this one. Criminal Investigation Bureau. I don't see what those bullet points are there, but they're teaching people, kind of giving them an overall about policing, and a lot of people, looks like a lot of people have kind of showed up and were pretty interested in those classes. Like I said, about 36 people signed up for this. So those are just my thoughts on, just kind of reading between the lines on that. More people with having more authority. But is this an opportunity to do some citizen policing with from people, like if we were more involved in this citizen police situation, that would we have more protection in North Omaha, or more protection for certain communities if we were involved in this? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not really seeing a lot of this is new to me. I'm not seeing a lot of people that I know that know about this. Those are kind of my thoughts on that. What are you thinking over there, buddy, on that? You said earlier that you might have some. We might be going in two different directions on those thoughts.
Well, yeah, I'm a little surprised by your response to that based on, what you're saying about community policing in our conversation we were having last week,
Mm.
about, your idea of what community policing looks like versus, say, Mayor Ewing, who you've had conversations with, and Mayor Ewing, his idea, and we'll get into his budget and his poverty elimination action plan here in a second. But again, his budget and the ideas hiring more police officers so they can be fully staffed, so they can be more in the community. That was, pretty
Mm.
much his words. And your idea was no more like the community policing itself, like that type of community policing. And when I see something like this, I'm like, is that what you're talking about? And so for you to kind of have the feeling like, nah, this ain't it. This is kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so what does that look like? So but I hear you out though. I definitely hear you, on the other side. Do you want more citizens kind of getting emboldened by the police, especially, certain types of citizens who already feel like they have the right to dictate where certain people can go and can't go, and want to walk up on young black kids trying to fish, telling them, do you live here? Let me see your ID. Like, imagine if those people now go through some kind of pseudo police training where they feel like they have now even more authority.
I mean,
So
that's the first thing that came to my mind is Zimmerman. Walking around the neighborhood watching, and end up shooting and killing Trayvon Martin. So, like,
mhm.
to your point, to me, it's like, to your point, like, is this a PR thing from the police department? If it's a police department, uh, if this is something that the police department is putting together, I automatically am going to feel like this is going towards the culture of the police department. Which is a little bit away from the citizen policing that I'm particularly talking about. That's why. But I mean, maybe it's a like I said, this is my first time even understanding this thing even existed. Is this a thing that can be used for that? I would actually like to bring on, like, Brother Kasim, to ask him about that, because he encourages people to join the police force all the time, but he also has a security company that does the kind of citizen policing that I'm talking about when it comes to events and stuff like that too. Can this be something we can use in the community, or is this something that is a propaganda machine for the police, like you meant, like you suggested? So, like, yeah, in one way I can see it can be used, but my first gut reaction to this was, okay, so we're gonna have more citizens around us that think they have the authority. I don't know.
Like Dynamite said, I'm gonna call the police.
Calling the police. Kimra, of course, as per usual, is giving us most of the information here on this particular subject, because she actually went to some of these places too. She said the FBI has done it too. In the chat, she says, I didn't have much interaction with their board back then, although I would have often talked to some of their members in passing in the hallway. I did help get them connected to labor. Oh, I think she's talking about something else.
I'm
Okay,
talking about the workforce development
workforce.
situation.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But she did give some information earlier on that, when we talked about in the first hour. She says each police precinct has someone on staff who puts these programs together. They are not police officers. Again, the individuals who go through this class are not police officers. She says in South Omaha, it is Ophelia Robles. She says she forgets the lady in North Omaha. But each police precinct has a precinct advisory council. You often hear about these opportunities during those advisory council meetings. So again, is it a part of are you in the know? And when we talk about community policing, is that ecosystem within the umbrella of the police, or is it something completely separate outside of that umbrella? This is all a part of the space is the place. Like, not just imagining abstract, like, yeah, we should have a community policing. Like, what does that look like? Like, how do we make that happen for real? Like, what does that look like so we can make it happen? But some of these things are definitely points we're gonna have to continue to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. I like where you're going with that. Yeah, definitely think that. Like I said, for me personally, community policing looks more like a sentinel force, like uh, brother Kasim's
Mhm.
security company. That can that but expanded, because also it looks like how the brothers all got together and kind of did some patrols and stuff like that around the Deuce, when they felt like things were going down over there. Union for Contemporary. It wasn't just security people that were doing that. There was the community that got together and took shifts on making sure that people got out of the building into their car safely and walked the block and so on. So there's a whole lot to it. Definitely love where you're going with that, getting into the conversation of like, what does that look like? What does it actually look like? What can it be? Maybe some of this is like I said, I'd like to talk to Miss Snipes more about this, because since she's one that went through it too, and maybe we can have some other people on that are officially involved in it and try to find out exactly what that training does. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. She says, this is why I'm so big on having a definition. Yeah, same here. It's just because each community is different. So yeah, we need to know what it looks like in Omaha, Nebraska. Uh, yeah, yeah. I appreciate your comments on this thing. I think this is going to be something that we need. We're definitely. I got very surprised by it, and even while we were sitting here looking at it, Buddy found out they have this in Atlanta as well. So this is something that's
Mhm.
pretty common around. And have we interacted with anybody who has been from a citizen policing class aspect? I mean, have we had interactions with people that got in your business that way and decided, wanted to make a citizen's arrest? I mean, like how common is it that we have interactions with these kinds of people? Not really sure, but that's what I'm saying. I'm definitely looking forward to looking at it, because it's brand new to me that this even existed. We've been talking a lot about the sheriffs doing a lot of deputizing, a lot of ICE agents that weren't professionals that got hired as well, to come on so they can increase these ICE agent numbers and do what they're doing. This is kind of, I think it's in the context of that for me. It's along the same lines of what's going on now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. You gotta stay vigilant in this time, this day and time. But the answers are there. That's the whole point of the space is the place and the lanes of change. Is figuring out how all these things, just really putting it together. The pieces are out there, the answers are out there. But as we always say, we're not outnumbered, we're out organized. And again, if we can figure out how to put these things together, then we can make it do what it do per se. And that kind of goes into the next conversation, which I actually like what Kimra's getting into, as far as her talking about the workforce situation, because there is a connection between criminal justice policing and workforce development. We know that people are less likely to do crime if they're making money. But we do have to get these things figured out on our end, which is the next conversation I want to have, kind of going off of, and big shout out on this day, having our Senator Cypher, again, seeing that Senator Ashlei, Spivey, Terrell, Mckinney, and other senators kind of have their direction, know what they're working on, but that also comes from us being organized and giving them direction. Again, it's not just about the elected officials having the answers themselves. That was another thing that came out of our conversation with Mayor Ewing, is him mentioning that again, he's viewing his position as bringing people together, organizing, which is another lane adjacent to the politician, the political ballot or the bullet lane. But again, space is the place, teamwork, making the dream work, and coming together in spaces and places, and making it happen, organizing. And that's really the big point of getting things together, like what community policing looks like. And also this poverty action plan. I don't know if anybody has looked into that, but we got to talk about it, as far as this poverty action plan. And again, not just relying on the city to have the answers, but again, viewing people in the community that has answers to come together and really correlate. So It's about
Yep.
20 minutes into the show. We are in the second hour. Have we
Mhm.
taken a break? What
We
you
haven't. Let's
feeling?
take one now. Let's
Yeah,
take a
yeah,
quick break
yeah.
and we'll jump back in. I definitely want to talk about that poverty action plan and some other things as well. So stay tuned. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. He's Buddy the Guide. You're in the second hour right now with us, and this season is the 3B. This is Space is the Place, and we're talking a lot about spaces and places right now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And yeah, hold tight. Hold tight. We'll continue on.
This summer, North Omaha comes alive. It's the Native Omaha Days Festival, a week-long celebration of culture, music, food, shopping, and powerful community reunions. Join locals, new residents, and visitors from around the globe for the ultimate homecoming experience. Get in on the fun. Find event details, vendor info, and more at nativeomahadays.org. Let's make memories together at Native Omaha Days, July 28th through August 4th.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I didn't hear you. Was you saying something to me over there? Wait, for those of you that don't know right now, Buddy is in town, and we happen to be sharing the space together, doing the show, which we hardly ever do. So sometimes I'm all in the window, like thinking he's over there in Atlanta, and then I look over. Oh yeah, that's right, he's right here. Just want to remind everybody what's going on. We're right in the middle now of our content creators camp, but we just had our July 26th lesson, and it went off the hook with Chris Baby Boy Bowling. It was a really good one, and we also got the people that are involved, their ideas about writing the articles that they're going to write to finish out the last two classes, and that's going well. August 2nd is our next one. And now the whole thing is closed right now. We have all the participants that we're going to use right now for this session. But if you're interested in this, then hit us up at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com, because we will have some more other 4-part workshops coming up, maybe even later in the year. So stay tuned for that. Also, the Chat Chimers Kickback is coming on this Sunday. We decided we were having it on the same day as the Untamed Summer that was going on. So we called Brother Sherman Wells and see if he wanted to do the Chat Chimers Kickback in conjunction with the Untamed Summer. He said, yes, let's do it. So it's happening Sunday, August 3rd, 4 to 7 p.m. There'll be music, games. We're going to eat. We're going to kick it. You can bring the kids. And we'll be double the fun this time around, because we'll be with the Untamed Summer people as well. So it'll be a lot of folks there. Be good. We'll definitely have the Dominoes tournament. This is all happening at Assembly of the Saints. You know where that is by now, 4224 North 24th Street in Omaha. And again, this is going to be happening from 4 to 7 this coming up Sunday. So so that as the things are winding down from Native Omaha Days, this will be something that's going to be on the tail end of it. Things will be still going on, but yeah, go ahead and put us in your plans, especially if you're a chat chimer. We want to celebrate you and spend some time living alive with one another for sure.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. Don't forget, man, the naming, the commemorative street naming ceremony is happening on the 29th, which is tomorrow, 6:00 at 24th and Laird. They're going to be honoring Vera Johnson and Betty McDonald, who are the founders of Native Omaha Days. And I think this, out of everything that's going on, for me, this is one of the most important events that's happening this week, because of the fact that they're honoring the founders of this whole scene, and not just the founders, but the people. I just think of them as the love supreme soldiers who came up with this idea that we're all going to live alive with one another every other year, and even the people that moved away and work in other cities come back home and keep the connection. I think it's such a love supreme move to put something together like that, to just gather everybody together for the love of North Omaha, Native Omahans, and people that moved away and want to come back and still connect with their families. So I've always admired them for what they did, and I'm glad that they're going to get this recognition and get some flowers here. The families will be out there, so I would highly suggest you come out and do this too. It's going to be really a legendary, a historic celebration, like they said, historic celebration.
Man,
And
celebration.
so celebration. Get the
Man,
cameras out. Make sure
man.
that you're there, and definitely check that out. So those are some of the things that are going on. We'll be talking about it. We can get into it. Excuse me, earlier in the show, but this is something that was on my mind. I wanted to talk about a little earlier, and I didn't get to it quite yet. But this is something I'm going to be looking into. Chat GPT CEO Sam Altman recently said there people share personal info with Chat GPT, but don't know chats can be used as court evidence in legal cases.
Mm.
This was a post on my social media feed, which means I'm going to have to do the due diligence of looking up this information on to my trusted sources to see if that post was true,
Mm.
because I haven't seen that interview or anything yet. But I'm going to go and dig on that a little bit to find out what's going on there, because I know us and a lot of other people use ChatGPT all the time, and we know that it is owned by another company. So this is another instance of the company that can have your data some kind of way. And if there's any truth to this, then that could be detrimental to a lot of people as well. So I'm definitely going to be looking into it and bringing it back in future shows. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on here on this side of the world. So
Hey.
yeah. Appreciate everybody in the comments. I haven't been able to really kind of keep up with the comments as much because you guys got a lot going on right now. So I'll go back and look at that. In the meantime, between time, buddy, where are we at in the vein that you're going down right now?
Yeah, still looking through the poverty elimination action plan. Something that we've been kind of talking about for the last couple of episodes. Deadline, I believe, is July 1st for cities of Omaha and Lincoln. This is actually out of shout out Senator McKinney. LB 840 was the bill that kind of pushed this whole and launched this whole thing as far as again legally requiring major metropolitan areas, namely again Lincoln and Omaha being the two biggest cities in the state, to come up with a poverty elimination action plan. Kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier, defining the thing. Like you can't just talk about affordable housing and poverty and all these buzzwords without a real plan. Without real definitions, nothing's going to get achieved with that. And that's really what this whole season is about. Is again spaces and places and creating the space that we all want to be in. And I think we can all agree that poverty doesn't exist, at least to the level that it does now, in the space and place that we all talk about,
Mm.
that we want to be in. And I actually appreciate your comments, what you're just saying about journalism and AI and just information and how how we go about researching information and things like that. And I am thinking about the space and place that we are in as far as journalists and spreading information. And as I look through this poverty elimination action plan, one thing that's jumping out to me is a big part of this plan is they're talking about not what they're planning on doing in the future, but what's already being done. There's a few lists of programs, there are a few lists of organizations that are already active, and that is kind of the spirit behind our Lanes of Change project, and it's just reminding us of what we're doing as far as Prescott and Omaha and the space we kind of occupy, not necessarily news per se in the traditional sense of going out, beating the pavement, writing the articles and bringing it back. We're more so news in the sense of information, dissemination of information, and um, for the really the advocacy side of it. This is something that again I was thinking about a project we did. Reach shout out to our partners at Heartland Ministry Center and some of the work that we did with them and capturing interviews and again using journalistic principles to tell a story that can help hopefully for some advocacy and can help raise some money for some funds and for some people who need assistance with dental health and really telling the story of how dental health can impact somebody's life, confidence, and kind of where it goes downhill from there. And again, thinking about this poverty elimination action plan, man, man, got to ring the alarm on some of these uh, organizations and everybody involved with this. And again, going with the Lanes of Change, I want to just name off some of the organizations. Again, 33 organizations were surveyed for this elimination action plan. And there's also I'm still going 30 or over 30 programs that are being listed in here for
Hmm.
poverty alleviation already. And just that in general, you try to think of a few organizations, but 30 to see the list, 33 organizations um, helping with poverty elimination action, and 30 or programs that are supposed to go towards poverty elimination action. First, I didn't know there was that many programs, and two, it is kind of curious, you start to think about what are the gaps and how is this working, how is this not working. And to your point, Paul, a lot of times, especially on the Empowerment Network conversation, which is actually on this list, if it wasn't here, if these people weren't here, what would it be like?
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So as you see, I urge people to look through it. If you haven't looked through this poverty elimination action plan, this is a part of holding elected officials accountable. This is a part of getting active and making the change that we all hope to see. And is this the change that we hope to see? That's also a part of it. Not just letting these things be dictated towards us, but also having a voice. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. That's what it's all about. Paul B, what say you?
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm kind of checking it out too, just seeing what you're seeing, and it is something to talk about. I think it's I'm glad that it's all here in one space. That's kind of what my feeling is. What it is
Mm,
their whole plan is, and I love that they have all the different organizations involved and all the points that they're going to try to cover with this, and what their definition is, and the way that Senator McKinney put these things together, and how it ends up being what it is. This is, you think about a bill that somebody's putting together, and the studies that go into that bill beforehand, and the plan that needs to come out of a bill. This is such a great example of that for me, and it's something that you can really dig into and understand a lot, so that everybody has a chance to check it out, and everybody has a chance to speak up on the things that they are concerned about with them. And but it also shows us a little bit, where I feel like our city officials, and there's people that are thinking about this. Everything's not going to be perfect about it, of course, but
right,
there's
right.
the fact that that somebody's trying to make a plan, and that we have a Senator McKinney in that can head these things up. It's interesting. Anthony Rogers right in the chat saying it's unfortunate that his so-called poverty elimination action plan doesn't use the phrase mutual aid once in its 125 pages. So here's somebody that's went through it, read it. Um, that's a thought. Mutual aid, not being mentioned once. Definitely want to hear more about your idea there. But that's what this is for. I feel like it's something, if we go
Mhm.
through it and read it, we can have these kind of conversations and really kind of figure it out. So I feel positive about it, just because of its origins, and also some thoughts behind it, and of course, where there's going to be points where people disagree on the how, the technique, on what it is, but at least there's a plan that's been started, and at least we can kind of help shape some of it and go through it and refine some of it, and of course, there'll be some disagreements on the how, but at least there's something there to work with.
Mm. Seems like Brother Tony Johnson is having some skepticism as well, on top of Brother Anthony Rogers. Right, he says no real work begins of these organizations having a specific plan on how they will accomplish goals under their interest area, because they will use this plan over and over to justify getting money from city and others. So is the plan more poverty pimping? Is that what you're saying? Is that how you feel? Definitely, again, that's what we're here for. Let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. Share your thoughts on this situation. Are there holes in the plan? Also actually looking at it from a kind of a different perspective. Not just for those holding elected officials accountable and this isn't good enough, but also for those everyday people who are actually in poverty, who might not know about these. And from man, if I was in poverty, like really, really struggling, really, really struggling, and to hear like there's a poverty elimination action plan, I might want to read that. Like, oh, there's a playbook to eliminate poverty.
Right.
Let me check that out. So again, this is something that we all should, be spreading the word on, whether you agree with it or not. There is some valuable information in this, and on top of that, yes, let's talk about how to improve it.
Yeah, most definitely. And this time around, I definitely want to see some receipts on some things as well. Like we gotta not just as a person who's made plans and a person who's had to write them out and shape them in a way to get funding for the plan. I don't really have any aversion of people putting something together to get funding for something as long as it's going to the right stuff. And
Right.
there's a lot of checks and balances there for those types of things. Where's that money going to? Is always it's pretty transparent when you're dealing with organizations, especially nonprofits. All the information is out there for anybody to see where the money went and how the money got spent and so on. So most definitely, you got to start somewhere, and starting with a plan is really where everything starts. So
Right.
until as a matter of fact, I even give it enough grace and breath to say, if the plan starts up and it's going, and we see that it's not effective, then it might need to pivot. But you can't really see much change until the plan gets implemented and starts to go. You can do as much pre planning as you can try to do, but until that plan is in action and in motion, and hopefully there's something in the plan that allow it to pivot if it needs to. To me, that's what that's all about. So,
Yeah.
and of course, I'm also thinking about this plan according to what Brother Anthony Rogers Wright is saying in the chat right here. He says we can't compare the U.S. to so-called Nordic countries. There is a major difference between the U.S. economic model, its value, and that of the nations like Sweden and Denmark. Those nations, from my understanding, have a lot of different kinds of programs there that really help their citizenry. But it is, you do have to kind of keep in mind that they have a different kind of economy, and just like you're saying, like this the U.S. economic model is a certain way, and that's why plans have to be made a certain way in order to try to get something done. It's never going to be as efficient as
Oh
plans
yeah.
from other countries with other economic models. But what are we working with here, and is any of it working at all? So that's kind of my thought on that. 8:36 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you're just joining us, we're in our second hour of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, and kind of going through some of these subjects today. I think Buddy had a train of thought this show that we kind of got that derailed a little bit, so we're trying to get back on track.
That's all good. It's all good. Still touching on the points.
Still touching on the points, and I want to thank everybody who puts some of these points in Friends of First Guy Omaha, and some of these articles there in order for us to kind of check some things out. And I appreciate everybody who's in the chat adding to the points and bringing some information out, and having some comments on this as well. This is definitely us talking about the thing. If anybody's going to get into any kind of deep discussion on the poverty elimination plan that was headed up by Senator McKinney, it's going to be us. This show, and you, the chat chimers, and all of our constituents here to be able to talk this out and to work it out a little bit more. So I think this will be something that's ongoing conversation, to dive deep into this. It's probably gonna involve a lot of organizations that we're connected to, some we're not connected to. Definitely is going to affect our community and people in our communities, our families, our
Oh yeah.
friends. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely part of this lane. One of the lanes of change we call is the follow the money lane. It's the economic power lane, and it's going to be a part of this. Senator Terrell McKinney always comes with the points. Today he said exactly what we've been thinking. All these things are connected. You make one move and something else gets affected. That's all. That's what it is. If you're not
Mhm.
economically sound, then it's going to mess with your housing, and then you're not stable. You don't have stable housing situation going on. So, and if the market is too high for you to move and into some places, then you're looking for other work. Then the economics kick into play there. So poverty in general, it just entails so many things, including education, including what you're going to do to make money. Where can you live with the money you make? All these things are connected. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, man. It definitely connected. Actually, big shout out to Brother Anthony Rogers. Right, he does have a great point with the funding cuts in this elimination action budget or plan. He says only thing is the plan was drafted when the material conditions of the U.S. government were vastly different. I think the plan should be updated to account for Trump administration and funding cuts, which is interesting because as I look at these 30 or so organizations that were surveyed that kind of helped draft this plan, a lot of them are nonprofits and a lot of them could possibly be getting haircuts and could be where they're serving a space could be a void, and if these organizations do go under. And I do want to give a shout out because some of them are our partners. Big shout out, of course, to Heartland Ministry Center,
Mm.
which yeah they're a part of that, which we are hosting our content creators camp at their center. Also Empowerment Network, which is a partner, of First Guy Omaha and several others. Actually, we were speaking at the Whites event. Had a conversation with the good folks over at uh,
ACLU.
yeah, ACLU, but not just ACLU, completely kids is what I was thinking
Oh
of.
yeah.
And also Omaha Bridges Out of Poverty, which again, talking about poverty elimination action, um, doing some good work and learning about the work that they're doing. That goes right along. And to your point of these lanes being connected, if we follow the money and the money is funny, it's kind of hard to come together as far as these organizations and the teamwork making the dream work. So again, what do we do? That's kind of the biggest point for me out of this Omaha community poverty elimination action plan is nothing is going to get done without the organizing, without the coming together, without either organizations or individuals coming together to figure things out. And it's definitely needed when you have officials who are elected, who are supposed to represent those interests after people organize, doing just the opposite. Again, this coming uh man, this is not a surprise. This is something that I've been saying and kind of murmuring, whispering, and now the headlines are confirming my feeling as far as the senators warring against the people who have organized in the areas. You think about some of the issues we've covered, talking about school vouchers, legal marijuana, things that went to the people voted for, and legislators, senators came back and tried to undermine. And now the
Mhm.
Nebraska Examiner is reporting Nebraska legislature embraced culture wars and pushed back against voter approved laws in 2025. And what does that mean? Again, with the people who are elected to support, elected to represent the voice of the people, goes right against the voice of the people. That means that we definitely cannot just rely on elected officials, as Senator McKinney told us. We have to organize for ourselves, and that's kind of one of the main points that I wanted to make today. Is we got to come together. Whether it's the Native Omaha Days situation or all of it. Teamwork is going to make the dream work, and that's the only way the dream is going to work is when we work together.
Yeah,
Uh,
we
Before
definitely
we
got to
dive
figure
into
out.
this article in detail, Paul, your thoughts?
Yeah, just not really any more thoughts on that. Just that it really is that we're in this space, we're in this place together, and we got to figure out how to navigate inside the space together. I always think a lot about this culture, how this culture has really adopted this idea that when you turn 18, you gotta go ahead and move out, start over, get that low rent apartment first, and your cheap furniture, and then try to grow it again, and how other cultures build in the same space. I've been to other countries, lived in other countries where there's 4 or 5 generations of people in the same space. And what always got me was like the individualism and stuff that we learn in our culture rarely allows for people to be able to live under the same roof and not have a lot of drama and beef and stuff going on all the time because of how the rugged individualism that we're all striving for all the time. It
Man,
makes it so that it's real hard to do that. But these
man,
other cultures have figured out how to respect each other's privacy, respect each other's space, and do all the things that they need to do and get on the same page and be in the same realm together under a roof. And that's what I feel like this is all about. Like we're in this situation all together, and we're in the space and we're in the place. So if we're gonna be here side by side, shoulder by shoulder, we got to figure out how to survive and live together and compromise and do what we got to do to be able to exist in the same space together.
man. And to that point, we'll jump in right there with the article again coming out of Nebraska Examiner, talking about this culture war that is brewing and has been really bubbling over in the legislature. And starting there, it talks about the unicameral, and that's really kind of the idea. To your point, is to this unique form of government in Nebraska. I think Maine is the only other state that has a unicameral. Is to go away from this two-party system and kind of lean away from this bipartisanship and this division that's always affecting, getting things done in America, and have a unicameral. But that's idealistic because in reality, that is not the case. In reality, it is this human-based separation, rugged individualism, culture war. You're different, this all this opposite of coming together, and things aren't getting done. Again, as the article reads, the Nebraska unicameral, while it isn't as loud or larger than life as other state houses, also had its culture wars spats this spring, from talks of stopping the elitist class from promoting lab-grown meat, which I don't know if you've been seeing the whispers of those, but
Mhm.
yeah, Pillen's been chiming up on that situation. To restricting what high school and college sports team transgender students can join, which has also been a huge war here in the state. But the legislature passed legislation that will require public school districts to adopt policy so parents can see that what materials are in school libraries, as book bans passed by school boards and states have drastically increased in recent years. State Senator Kathleen Caulfield Millard area also continued proposing bills that affect transgender Nebraskans. In 2023, her bill passed restricting gender care for some minors. That year, her bill and legislative resistance to it sidetracked the session. Again, talking about the ACLU doing the good work, ACLU Nebraska Executive Director Mindy Rush Chipman said in a statement, the constant targeting of LGBTQ plus Nebraskans must stop. And again, we know that a lot of those conversations come from the conservatism and the culture wars. And again, not really listening to the people, kind of going along the paternalism that you talk about a lot of times, Paul, and the feeling that politicians that even said it, like the electorate, excuse me, don't know what they're talking about and don't know what they're really voting for and don't know what they're saying. How do you deal with the government like that? How do you get anything done in a society like that? Even beyond government, just like, to your point, living here in this space and place and trying to get things done and chill things out. How do you make that happen?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a very good question. Where do you go when your elected officials that are supposed to be representing you decide that they're going to do things a certain way instead of listen to their constituents? And we just kind of went through that last session. We heard a lot from the senators, especially on Senators Cypher, but other senators as well, even Republican senators. There's a lot of people that were feeling real funny about how people were making decisions on what it was they were going to push, even though the majority of the people that were in their districts wanted to do something another way. There was a bunch of instances of that when it came to like the marijuana issue and all kinds of different issues. So we just saw that. We just went through that, and it's very interesting. We're one of the only states that have that are going through that. As a matter of fact, Anthony Rogers Wright is saying Buddy, Maine is not a unicameral, but it does split their delegates up proportionally by congressional district, like Nebraska does for now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
interesting. He says before we call out the unicamerals' war against trans or queer people, we need to speak about the war against these folks led by Black people. Interesting comment as well. Also, Tony Johnson in the chat says we know unicameral does not advocate for needs of Black Nebraskans. What group locally or in state does? Political parties definitely do not. Yeah, what
Yeah.
organizations are definitely advocating for especially Black Nebraskans? It's a very good question. We feel so lucky to have Senator Terrell Mckinney in unicameral right now, and also Senator Ashlei Spivey too. Like sometimes it feels like they're the only two that are trying to advocate.
Well, let's not forget about Brother Roundtree as well. Shout out to him.
For
And
the round trip too, yeah.
yep, they're trying to get down to what other senators have going on. And so that's definitely the point of bringing back the Senator Cypher. Excited about that. And a big shout out to all of you in the chat. Man, your mind be free, letting your voice be heard, because ultimately that's what it's about.
Got to. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and wrap up the show. Maybe with a little
Yeah.
Love Supreme or something like that, man. Loosen it
Yeah,
up a
yeah,
little
yeah,
tad
yeah,
bit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Talk a little bit. We're still in the midst that we can't forget. Today is the start of Native
Man.
Omaha Days, and the days last all week, and that's what's going on. So lots going on. Want to hear from you a little bit more about that. Plan on what days you plan on going out? Did you have your week planned and be walking the streets? What are the things going on there? Love to hear about it for sure. In the meantime, between time, we'll be right back. Stay tuned for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddy the Guy. We'll be right. Welcome back. For Sky
Hey.
Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
Just a little quick one, man. I'm really looking forward to this Chad Chalmers kickback. Again, I'm gonna put the call out. If you got a special side dish that is something you want to show off, we would love for you to get together with us and bring that potluck style to this Chad Chalmers kickback. We do have pops on the grill, so that's why I'm saying side dishes because we're gonna have pops on the grill and not pops. Not my pops. You guys been hearing pops. I'm talking about Buddy's pops this time. I'm talking about Papa God.
Papa God.
Papa God is gonna be on the, and let me tell you about this man set up at his house because I seen it.
It's the
I seen
cockpit.
it.
It's the cockpit.
He walked up to uh, a, a a plethora of smokers and grills all in front of him. All to the left side is like the cockpit of grilling, and he gets busy. I'm sure he's not gonna take his whole setup, but he's gonna bring some stuff down. Now he's probably gonna do it at the cockpit and just bring it down. Is what I'm thinking is gonna happen. But
down.
it's quality meats, smoked to perfection. Papa God on the grill. It's going down. So we need some sides. We're doing a potluck style for the Chad Chimer. So if you guys get busy, we'll talk to you this week about what it is that you might want to bring. There's gonna be some other food there as well. So
Yeah.
if you can't, don't worry about it. But we'd love to see your side dish if you wanna come down and put that together. I like the idea of that we used to do potlucks back in California that way, backyard boogies where people would bring their signature dish, and then that became a thing. You know what I'm saying? And we celebrate that one. That's your family recipe or whatever it is you bring it down. And I love to place that identity with people too. Like, oh, that's so and so. She bring them greens. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, come on,
yeah,
man. Yeah. Sean McCarthy with an entry says, anyone interested in homemade guac? Okay.
bro. Listen,
Getting down with the guac. Cali boy, man.
homemade guac means he uses real avocados. That's all you need to
All right.
tell this Cali boy right here for real, for real.
Man, from Mexico.
I will bring the chips. You bring the guac for sure. Appreciate that.
Hey, there you go, Sean.
I'm with it. He said, Black Dynamite said, I definitely need to see a man in a linen suit on that grill like the man in that picture. He said that would take Unc to a whole new level. Hey, that's what it is, bro. I was my prompt, my AI prompt was really like, hey, first of all, we got to have a brother that's in outer space.
What kind of suit is that? What they call that?
That's that leisure suit from back in the day. That leisure suit. The bell bottoms and yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's chilling in space.
Man,
Babies jump rope on the moon. That's what it is. We're in outer space right now. Space is the place, baby. It's going down. So, yeah, you want to make it a costume ball? Come on through with your leisure suit, Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
If I can find a butterfly collar, I'll come down myself dressed up. We'll see.
Get it popping. Come through the firefly and the dragonfly.
Doing the dragonfly bumping that old school.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. So we're looking forward to it. And that's at the end of the week. And what's going on throughout the week, of course, is Native Omaha Days. And it's always a good thing. For those of you that don't know, we have a lot of ghost listeners, a lot of people in different communities. And I'm really learned over the course of years, this is pretty much a black holiday in Omaha, Nebraska. As a matter of fact, 2 black women are the ones who put it together. Miss Vera Johnson, Betty McDonald. And they founded this years ago. They're getting ready to get their flowers right now too, with the street naming coming up tomorrow, at 6 p.m. at 24th and Laird. And yeah, this is when you think about the concept. Just think about the concept. First of all, they pretty much put a citywide, North Side family reunion together of all the families, because this is about North Omaha. So that's number one. That's a big situation in the first place for me to say, let's make a party and make it be like a big family reunion that all the families come to.
Man,
Number one.
Think about that.
Then they took it a step further. And this will be a celebration of the Omahans that left Omaha and are going to come back. We'll give them a destination, a party, a thing, a reunion for them to come back in from out of town so they can keep their ties with the people here in our country, cultures all the time, all kinds of different cultures in our country. They'll be growing up in hometown. They'll leave, go to the big city, take a job. Families get split up. Families ain't as close no more. They come back maybe every Christmas, spend a day or two.
It's real.
But when they do, they come back to their families and they spend time with their families. Native Omaha Day, people come back and spend time with the whole community, including their families and everybody else's family. So you talking about keeping strong ties with North Omaha. Genius togetherness thing, as far as I'm concerned. Genius living alive with one another. The epitome of live alive with one another. The epitome of keeping ties and knowing where you're coming from and keeping North Omaha strong. As far as I'm concerned, the people that moved out of North Omaha to do things in other places are keeping Omaha strong by coming back and engaging with the Native Omaha days. That's how I
Man, no, that's a huge point. That's a huge point. Man, I'm a somebody in the chat asked a question about Omaha Day in Atlanta, and I want to talk about the national side of Omaha Day too. But before we get to that, that point of that relationship between families who have gone abroad and staying connected with their families here. There is kind of a class side to that as well, because to your
Mm,
point, a lot of time the family members who did leave left kind of for career choices, left to find other
education choices.
opportunities. Exactly. You're trying to and a lot of them have found situations where they are a little better off, but it is kind of that trope of, do you come up out the hood and just leave the hood completely, and you still got family members who are in the hood still struggling, didn't really have opportunities to leave Omaha, and actually can't really even afford to visit that often,
Right.
which is why every other year, some family members come back who haven't seen family members since last Omaha Day for that very reason. So, to your point of keeping families together, even across class lines and things like that, there is that element. I know I ain't the only one seeing that. There is that element
Hmm.
as a side of Omaha Day. So, very interesting point. And on the other side of that, when those families do leave and go to other places, they still take Omaha with them. To the point, Black Dynamite asks in the chat, he says, "Buddy, is Omaha Day in ATL a real thing?" And although I have not been to any celebrations, I do know that there is an Omaha Native Omaha Club in Atlanta. I do know that. Shout out to Brother Mark Nichols, who I believe is the kind of the president, or working with that group and organizing Native Omahans in the Atlanta area to come together and celebrate. And I have heard about celebrations in California, celebrations in Texas of Native Omahans. Those in between years, again, it happens in Omaha on every odd number day or year, and other places on all the even number years. So 2026, 2028, California, Dallas, Atlanta, those areas
Vegas.
will be Vegas. Yeah, will be turning up with some Omaha natives. And as First Sky Omaha, we would definitely love to connect with some of those groups and individuals. So if anybody are familiar with those, like Paul said, Vegas. I know I've heard about, several people have told me about California. I think actually Gabrielle Union and her family, who comes here, but are also in the LA area, kind of partake in those celebrations as well. So yeah, would definitely love to dive deeper in that world. But it's Omaha world, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a community in itself, and no matter where you go, you kind of tend to take Omaha with you. At least I do.
And like I said, man, don't sleep on the fact that we talk a lot about brain drain. We talk a lot about trying to keep people in town, to all the talented young folks that we want to keep in town to make Omaha strong, and that keeps Omaha strong. But we kind of we lean towards a different kind of philosophy on that, because especially if you're an artist or a musician, or people like people that are living in a place that don't have an industry, we encourage young folks to go somewhere else and continue their craft and be excellent in their craft and be somewhere where they can work in the kind of work that they do and everything else. But you can do that and still come back and invest in Omaha. You can come back, have a business in Omaha. You can still come back and make Omaha strong if you're somewhere else. As a matter of fact, those people that do go and they come back every other year are making Omaha strong
Man,
that way.
man,
And so there, you can. There's more than one way to just stay in town and keep working at Conagra or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do some other stuff and come back and keep this place strong. So that's what it is. Um,
man.
I'm seeing Marlon Harrison say, I see you thinking over there, buddy. Marlon Harrison says, after Native Omaha Days, do you guys will see me in the gym for the next 8 to 9 weeks working off that 30 pounds? I'm gonna do. I'm gonna gain during
Man,
this. Hey,
eating
bro, we gonna
good,
do.
eating
Gonna do
good.
some eating.
Hell yeah, that's for sure. That's for
Gonna
sure.
do
Gonna
some
be eating
eating.
good, man. But yeah, I was just thinking to your point about, like, man, just the importance of actually, there's a lot of talent here in Omaha, and keeping talent here. But to your point of the brain drain, I am thinking of all the people that are doing things that I'm interested in Omaha and things that are cool to me. A lot of them are people who left and came back and brought that talent to Omaha to make Omaha a better place. Thinking of Marcy Yates in the Culture House, and how you think of how the time that he spent in Arizona, in music school down there. He was in the Phoenix area for some years. How that impacted what he's doing. Thinking about Felicia Webster and her time in Philly, and you know what I mean. Like these people who have gone abroad, seen what's dope, seen what can be possible, and brought that to Omaha, and breathe life into Omaha through that. And yeah, man, just about everybody that I'm thinking of have at some point in their lives and careers gone abroad and found something dope and brought it back to the city, and now they're making the city that much better. So yeah, man, big shout out to all the native Omahans. This week is a week like no other, celebrating native Omaha, celebrating what North Omaha can bring to the world. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm here
I'm
for it.
excited too, and I hope hopefully I'll see you guys out there. We'll definitely be mobbing around, walking the streets, playing it by ear, hitting some
Mm.
stuff. I just saw one with brother Mario Corbino coming back out. I know you guys remember him.
Hey,
Yeah, he's coming back out. He's gonna be playing with my cousin Nate Bray and them. They're gonna be over there at Dreamland Park, funking it up, man. It's going down. So I'm definitely gonna go out there and see them, hit that show. There's a few other things going on that I want to check out. So we'll just kind of keep in touch as we go, and make sure that we live alive with one another for sure out there. So
man,
appreciate you guys all the time. Appreciate you guys all the time, and appreciate all this information, man. A lot of information that we definitely have to discuss. Sometimes people don't think these are stories, but for us in our community and our neighborhoods, definitely stories. There's definitely stories about what's going on here with Native Omaha Days. Nobody's gonna give it the time and the space and the importance that we're gonna give it here at First Sky Omaha, because this is us. This is
man,
us. I can shout out to 95.7 The Boss. These are some folks that are going to be bigging up Native Omaha Days like it should be. It's a huge
man,
piece of on Nebraska news as far as we're concerned. And there's even the mainstream news got a couple articles here and there, but nobody's going to dive deep like we do. That's just what it is. Appreciate you guys. It's 9:01 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And before we do that, I want to throw it over to Buddy. You got some words for the people?
yeah, man. As always, man, it's a love affair, man. Love supreme here on First Guy Omaha. We love and appreciate the comments, the chats, the ghost listeners, the engagement, the interaction, the living alive with one another, man. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Looking forward to living alive all week. And Omaha Days is culminating with our own celebration, Chat Chamber Kickback next week. Kind of, bringing Omaha Days to an end with a bang. Pops giving some love to the poster there. So thank you on that one. That's my man Paul B with the graphic skills. But
Look
yeah,
like
yeah,
look like Pops. This picture, my man looked like Pops back in
a
the
little bit, a little,
back
little
in
bit, a little bit.
'73 for real.
Yeah. I know he got a suit like that in the closet somewhere. But anyway, definitely looking forward to that and appreciate the love as always, man. Let's keep it going. Remember, we need each other to make this thing happen. Teamwork makes the dream work. But again, if organizing and bringing people together ain't your lane, then there's several other lanes that you can fall in and do what you do naturally for the greater good of everybody else, man. So we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. We're gonna keep diving into this thing, but in the meantime, between time. Catch the same time, same place, right here on First Guy Omaha in the morning. Oh,
Yeah, oh, in the morning. And you used to singing it. You the singer around here.
hey, man, I'm trying to throw it to you, man. Anyway, man, go ahead and take us away.
Right on. Tony Johnson in the chat said First Guy Omaha should do a documentary for this year.
Mm, Tony
Good,
do.
good suggestion. We do have some things in the works. Look out for that Lanes of Change series of documentary videos. Also, we have another one coming up called the Benevolent Illusion. That'll
Man,
be coming as well. So we have a couple video projects, short docs and series that we're putting together now, and that's really where our wheelhouse is. We've been really kind of waiting on trying to get to that, and we're finally getting ready to be able to expand the news a little bit further with growing the team, so that we can keep those things up and then expand into some video work and some documentary news pieces and things like that we have in planned and are working on actively right now. So stay tuned for that. Look out for that. I will be dropping that stuff over on YouTube. So like and subscribe, hit that bell. So when those things drop, you'll be the first ones to be able to check them out. And yeah, we're going to continue to do that. We are a couple of artists, a couple of documentary filmmakers. We're a couple of musicians, and we are putting some things together that's more in our wheelhouse to do. and that's definitely coming. So we appreciate all the support so far on all of those things. Everybody who has helped us to keep this thing going, so that we can continue on with some of those other pieces and expand the news out. And that's what it is. That's what it's all about right now. So stay tuned for all of those things happening this season and in the seasons to come in a big way. And shout out to the members, $10 people, the $25 people, the $50 people that have decided to become members and help us to continue with these things and get some of these productions off the ground. And then also shout out to our partners, Heart Ministry
Man.
Center, even the work we're doing with Empowerment Network, even the work we're doing with Native Omaha Festival now, apparently, and and a lot of the other ones that we've been hooked up with. Shout out to the city, shout out to everybody who's trying to work with us and understand that us doing advertising and us doing video services and things like that is how we keep this going. 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 7 to 9 every morning each season. Shout out to the senators who come onto the show on a regular basis as well, and that really helps us to really understand how these laws and how these things work, and what we can do to make things work better for us here too in the lane of politics. So shout out to everybody who has helped this thing go along, and especially you, the Chad Chimers. Sunday we're gonna be celebrating y'all. So please
Man.
come out. Please come out. Bring your best dish and bring your best domino skills so somebody can end Kimra's reign on the domino table. Otherwise it'll be a three-peat, and you'll be holding your head in your hands like Buddy and shaking your head like Mayor Sanchez because she won again. So yeah, I'm not getting on the table. She gonna beat me because I ain't that great at the bone. So I'm not even
Really?
gonna sit down. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
Well,
y'all can
Kim
have
trying
it.
to get on the chest too, man.
I would like to break a chess table out this time around. I think they might even have one at Assembly of the Saints.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Get down.
we got to get down. Can't wait to see you guys out there. You guys, in the meantime, teen time, take care of yourselves and do not forget what's going on today. This is not even accurate. It's not even. It's not. It's going to be actually 101 today, not 95.
Man.
It's going to feel like 110, 115. They said it's going to be severe heat going on. Excessive heat warning right now in Omaha, Nebraska. Make sure everybody's hydrated. Make sure everybody's air conditioner is working. And if you can stand it, like, don't go camping right now. I'm just saying, like, don't be out in the woods and I'm a
Hey, man.
buddy
Hey,
in the
we at
chat
the
will be walking,
campsite.
y'all be walking around in loincloths talking about it's too hot. I had to take everything off and jumping in the river.
Hey, we
Yeah.
about to be right near the beach.
Hot, bro. Hot. It's gonna be hot today. So check on your loved ones, check on your elderly. Make sure everybody's air conditioners is working. Stay inside if you can stand it. If you can swing that. Even the city is encouraging that. Stay inside if you can, because it's gonna be really, really hot. This kind of heat that kills folks, man. There's people that be dying of heat strokes and all kinds of stuff in this kind of heat. So don't forget it. It don't happen much. So people ain't scared of it, but it can definitely go down. There's a reason why an hour from where I grew up, there's a place called Death Valley, because it'll get so hot it'll kill you straight up. So this is one of the things. I walked out yesterday and felt like I couldn't breathe. Like I was supposed to, like, the humidity level was so thick that it was like somebody was. It was just crazy. So, and it's supposed to be hotter than that today. So please, 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 I can't stress this enough. Take care of yourselves. And wait till the sun goes down a little bit to come out and do some Native Omaha Day things. Maybe, I don't know, whatever you got to do, but stay hydrated, stay good, and hopefully we'll see you out there. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
Peace.
By the way, Van Glorious, this is protected by the Red